All right, it says I'm live, but let's see if that is true. All right, do me a favor and let me know in the chat if you see me. Give me a big hello in the chat if you do see me. So I do think I'm live. There we go. There we go. Cool, cool. Hey, all right. That is fantastic. Awesome. So I'm glad I'm here. It's been a little bit of a crazy day. Let me bring my mic over. We'll put it up here and down here. Good enough. All right. So hello. It's been a crazy day, and I'm running a little behind, but I'm here for our live broadcast and got a few things to cover. And that is that we're going to talk about niche selection. We've had a lot of people talking about niches and wanting to know more information about picking courses and how to figure that out. So we're going to get into that. Plus, I've got a couple of cool announcements that I can make as well. And let me see here. One thing. Okay, good. Samantha confirmed behind the scenes I'm live too. So thank you, Samantha. Awesome. So yeah, that's going to be the topic today. We're going to just dive in a little deeper into niche selection, course selection, stuff like that. And I was right in the middle of working on something that I want to give you that is not quite ready yet, but I'll show you the work in progress on the screen. And that is all related to niche selection. So we'll get to that in just a moment. And let me see here how we're doing in the chat. Okay, good. Awesome, awesome. All right. So what I'd like to do, I'm going to do things a little bit backwards today, because usually what I do is I have an open Q&A at the end. But today we're going to do some Q&A at the beginning. I'm going to sandwich this training in the middle about how to select niches and pick course topics to do your courses on. And the other thing I'm going to do is another round of Q&A at the end. So we're going to do it like a nice little sandwich there. So, but first thing I want to do starting out is help people with, if there's anything that you need moving forward, other than niche selection, because we're going to cover that in a minute. If there's anything that you need being able to build your very first site and move forward in the process. That is what I want to make sure I cover. My first round of Q&A, I want to cover exactly what can I do to advise you? If there's any kind of coaching, help, advice, anything like that that we can do to help you move forward, we're going to do that right now. And let me see here. Let's see. Oh, okay. Let me just do this. Turn that off. I'm flying solo today, so I forgot to set everything to do not disturb here. So I don't have Bill Finley helping me with Q&A and stuff today. So I'm doing it solo. So be patient with me as we make our way through this. But yeah, let's dive in and talk about that. Let me see the chat. I'm going to go over here and open it up and see. Good. Well, I don't see any questions yet, but if there's anything you need at all in getting started, I would definitely like to know about that so I can help you with it. So anything in the process of getting your site launched and getting started, and yeah, just advice, tips, help, stuff like that is what we're going to cover in this little session. And if you guys are all good, everybody's rolling along, and I do see John asking a question, so I'll get to John in just a second. But that's the idea, is anything that you need from advice and things like that. But so far, I haven't seen any questions. I got one from John, which I'll cover in a second. And then any others I want to get knocked out and out of the way. And I do want to remind you that during these live broadcast sessions, there's two things that we don't handle. One of those is tech support. So if something's broken or not working as expected from a technical standpoint, then I need you to send that over into our help desk. And normally Bill Finley handles this for me, but there it is. help@pushbutton.ai. So as you can see right down there, that's where you want to direct tech support, but also customer service type issues. Like let's say that you need to change your billing, you're having problems with your login, you need to change the email address on your account, stuff like that. So I can't help you with either of those things while I'm live. So the best place to do that is right there, help@pushbutton.ai. They'll take quick care of you and make sure that you're helped out as best as possible and as fast as possible. But what I'm here on this session is to help you with coaching, advice, problem solving, and whatever it takes to help keep you moving forward so you can be successful with your business. So that's that. Let's see. I'll check back into the chat and see what else we got. Cool. Some good training, some good questions here. Okay, someone's wanting to understand a little bit more about add-ons. Okay, I'm not sure some of these questions. Okay, so some of the questions I may not be sure how to answer, but I do see this. So we have, let's see, this is a question from another John asking about if the sites work well for mobile. And yes, they do. The sites are designed to be mobile responsive so that they should work and function really well on a mobile device. So first of all, yes, your sites being built are mobile friendly. The other question asking about that if you're ready to take your site and get it put into video and audio and all the cool add-ons that you get, how you do that. So we did a whole show in your training area. If you log into your training area and take a look at your courses, there's an entire show in there all about add-ons, how it works, how the process functions, the steps you need to do to request your add-ons, all of that were covered in that training session. But it's quite simple, really. The basics are you want to look over your site and look over your lessons and just give it a quick, don't try to go in and be a perfectionist, but just give it a quick once over, making sure that it's, like you're happy with it. And assuming you are, all you got to do is send an email, that same email address right there, and let them know, tell them the domain name that you want to put your add-ons on, and they'll get the process started. And that's when we're going to turn every one of your written lessons into video, audio. You're going to get a 30-day email sequence, a logo, all that good stuff that you've heard me talk about will then be added to your sites. So it's just a chance for you to proofread it, make sure that it looks how you want it, it reads how you want it. You then put your request in, and then you wait. Don't go editing the materials on your site. So don't edit your sales page or edit your lessons while the add-on process is underway. And then they'll take care of the add-ons. So that's how that works. And our add-ons are running faster, by the way, but the process is still backlogged. I'm a little sorry to say that. So when you do request your add-ons, we are in the midst of a backlog. It's taking a lot longer to create as many add-ons as there's a lot of stuff that happens with the add-ons. So yeah, you have to look at each and every process. Each audio file is created one at a time. Then that's sent over to the video production. Each one of those is created one at a time. So there's 12 audio files, 12 video files, 30 emails. What else is there? There's something like, I'm going to guess 50 images that are generated with this, the logo, and that process is running a little slower. We're working on improving it and making it go faster. And we're making some good progress, but it's not fast enough. It's still a little delayed, just to let you know. And then here, I forgot to take the little stinger off there. And let's see here. Okay, cool. Here's a good question about traffic, especially want to know about paid ads and Google ads. And so what I want to recommend on that one is you refer to your traffic training. So we can talk more about that, but the first step would be to take a look at the traffic training in Traffic Generation Revealed. It's an entire course about over a dozen ways to generate traffic with your sites. And there's no real difference between a push button AI site and any other kind of traffic. It doesn't change how you generate traffic. It's always the same. The AI helps you get the business up fast, but all of the traffic generation strategies are all the same for a push button AI site compared to anything else. And let's see what else I've got here. Cool. So I have people asking questions about their sites specifically. For those, please email support that help at Push Button AI. Mary is asking about the private chat. Yes, Mary, this is a private chat between you, me, and the team. The rest of the customers don't see your questions, so you can talk directly to us about confidential stuff that you might not want to share to the public. Okay. Okay, so this is the follow-up from Blake about Google ads. So we do not create Google ads, Blake. So what the add-on pack includes 10 social media ads. So these are designed for like Twitter ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, things like that. So we're not creating Google ads for you. And Google ads are just text ads. They're really simple to make. So if you refer to your training on that, and then I don't know if enough people are interested, I can do another training session about how to write ads using AI. If you want to learn how to use ChatGPT to write your ads, I can show you how to do that if there's enough interest. So if you want to vote in the chat, you can say so. Write in the chat. Let me know if that's something you guys are interested in. If there's enough interest, I'll do it on a future session, and that's using ChatGPT to write your ads. And it actually does a really good job of doing it, by the way. Cool. Yeah. So just you guys vote for me, vote for that in the chat. And then if there's enough interest, we'll get that going. Here's a good question. What are the biggest problem areas to avoid? And the biggest problem is really overthinking things and being a bit of a perfectionist. I think that's the biggest problem I think I see from a strategic standpoint. Is you get like someone may inspect the site and get a little bit too in their head about, oh, is this lesson perfect? You know, what I don't like how this is phrased, or I don't like how this is said. And they really get into the minutia of editing the course to make the words exactly perfect. And that is actually not that significantly important, especially when your business is brand new. So I say instead, focus on taking imperfect action and just getting your site up, getting it launched. You know, you can do that following all of the training that's in your members area. And then from there, then you improve, right? So you want to get it good enough to get it launched and get it out there. And then you start making improvements. And typically where I focus my initial improvements are on my sales processes. So I'll look at my sales page or things like that. And there are things you can do to improve and make things better. And, but yeah, just get started, I think is the biggest barrier, is just to actually take action and see it all the way through to the end, right? Not just put your request in to build your site and then get distracted, but then see that through to the end. Make sure you connect your Stripe. Make sure you connect your email account. Make sure you go on to the traffic training and learn about how to actually get some traffic to your website. And it's getting, just taking action and having the discipline to push through and not allow yourself to get distracted by, trying to make it perfect or being unsure. Just keep moving forward. That's the biggest, I think, barrier to getting started. Cool. Lots of votes for copy training for ads. Okay. Cool. Okay, so here's a question from Pauline about where else can you learn? What other okay. So all of these sessions that we do, I think now we've done 8 of them. Maybe not. This might be the 9th, I think. Every one of them is recorded and in your members area. And I don't have the link right here to get that for you, Pauline, but you can certainly ask support about it and they'll get you the direct links. And you've got 2 kinds of training in your members area. First is the archives of these sessions. Well, there's 3 things. So first is the archive of these sessions. Second, each of these sessions is being edited down in the relevant training. Usually it's anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes of training in each live session is being clipped out, edited, and then post it as a separate, step-by-step lesson. So that process is ongoing. It's not completed, but it's because we're doing this all live. But every live session is always archived and put in your members area to watch later. And then everyone in Push Button AI that's part of our early bird program has access to our other training on traffic. That's the traffic generation revealed training. And it shows you over a dozen ways to get traffic to your website. It's pretty good training. And so you have access to that as well. Those are all in your members area. And if you're not sure how to find them or where they're at, simply email support and they'll take good care of you. So that is, there you go, help@pushbutton.ai. Cool. All right. Well, then I'm going to, John's question, because he's over in Facebook land, Google land, YouTube land. John had also asked, what are the first 3 things I need to do? Well, John, I actually made a very specific, there's 5 steps that you need to do. I'll put it over here. 5. There we go. 5 steps you need to do to get launched. And I did an entire training specifically on that. So John, if you're not sure which lesson that is or where to find that, please email support and they'll get you pointed to the right lesson. Okay. And it covers it just in detail. What are the exact 5 steps that you need to do to launch your Push Button AI site? And I break it down step by step. Cool. All right. John's happy with that answer. And okay, so if I missed your question, I'll apologize for that now. The chat's moving kind of fast and I'm a little distracted here flying solo. So I want to get to our training. So I'm going to talk a little bit about niche selection and picking different kinds of courses that you could create. So we're going to get to that. And then I'll go back to questions in a little bit. So once I get the training done, so we get it recorded for editing later, and then we'll go back and I'll do some more questions. So if I missed your question, I apologize. And either you can ask it again when we get back to questions, or you can always email support with your questions as well. That help@pushbutton.ai email address. All right. So what I want to talk about is selecting what kind of niche market or niche market, that, depending on where you are in the world, which that you want to pick when you're deciding how to build a course or how to build a business. This training is relevant to Push Button AI Course Builder, but also any kind of website that you might want to build. But today we'll be focusing a bit on the Course Builder specifically. But again, this advice is relevant in any kind of business. It could be an e-commerce business, a service business, any kind of business you might want to be starting. If you're not quite certain about your niche, then I'll show you how to work your way through that. And then we're going to also talk about specific ideas for courses, because I think I see people that get a little bit stuck in trying to come up with course ideas. And so what I've done is I actually created 2 lists. I actually used OpenAI's ChatGPT for this, and I had it help me, and I had it create a list for me of the major niches. They're like sub niches and the relevant keyword phrases, the major keyword phrases that you would use for each one of those niches. And there are, it's 100 and, let's see, is this the right sheet? How many I got? Not that, not that. I believe it is, there we go, 247 of them. So, so I'm going to share that with you. It's actually in the midst of being created. Actually, I got a spreadsheet up here right now. And then let me see how I'm going to do this. If I do that, here, I'm going to share the spreadsheet with everyone right now. I'll just show it on my screen so you can see. It's very ugly because, again, it's just in raw spreadsheet format, but we'll do that. This one is very wacky. Let me see if I can format this in a way you guys can see it better. So note for editor, this little section here, edit this out while I'm fiddling around with my screen. You can just clip the whole thing out. So let's just I'll make this bigger, like that will work. Okay, so we have 414 course ideas and 247 niche ideas. So we'll put that over there and that here. Maybe I'll make this a little bigger. Sorry about this, but I was literally preparing this off camera. But it wasn't really, I was hoping this would be completed and I could put it in your members area before we were live, but I didn't get to it in time. It's been quite a crazy day. So let's go bigger, bigger, bigger. Go like that. Okay, I think that's going to do it. All right, so let me share my screen and I'll show you this. Well, before I do that, okay, end of the edit period where the editor can come back. Now, when you pick your niche market, I think people get way too complicated with this. And it actually is quite simple. You can literally just think of any topic in life, in business, that people have problems or goals that they're trying to handle. And the more emotionally charged and the more important the problems and goals, the easier it is to sell and the more money you can charge. That is kind of a general rule of thumb. Also, if you think about the kinds of people that have those problems or goals, generally the more well off they are in terms of income and things like that, the easier to sell and the more you can charge for it. That's the basic rule of thumb in picking a niche market. So often when I'm picking something, I don't get too significant about it. I just figure out a niche. Then I figure out how I help that niche and help them solve their problems and goals. And I just keep moving forward. And so I think that there's so much attention paid to like doing all this crazy analysis and overthinking and overdoing all of that, when really it's just finding a niche that I think it's important that there are people with big problems and goals that you can help them solve. The more money they have to spend, the better. But also the other thing to take into account is you. And that's probably the most important part of the puzzle is you personally, because I would never recommend that you pick a niche market that you don't like, right? If it's a topic, let's say that you're a cat person and you just really despise dogs. Obviously, I'm being dramatic, right? But I would not tell you that you should go get into the dog niche, even if the dog niche is really highly profitable, maybe a very lucrative niche. If you hate it, don't go into it. Because what I found, and I can tell you this from personal experience, there are businesses that I started that were wildly profitable, but I didn't really like the market. I didn't really like the product or the niche. And you know what? I eventually quit those businesses, even though they were profitable. It got harder and harder to show up every day and put in the work, put in the effort, solve the problems, and keep those businesses moving forward. And I just didn't like them enough. And so those businesses died. And so rather than you making that mistake, find a business that you at least can become curious about and be interested in that niche. You don't have to be an expert, but you have to be willing to be invested into that niche, into those people, into that community, and be willing and interested and curious about moving forward and helping them more and more and more. Okay. That is more important. And if you have a field of knowledge, even if you're not an expert, maybe it's a hobby or just something you're curious about or interested in, those are all good ideas and good ways to pick your niche market. And at this point, any major hobby, any major topic, any major life sort of problem or life decision or business problem or business decision is a viable niche market. There is no magic, low competition, high profitability, magic niche market. It just does not exist at this point. It did once, or in the early days of the internet, back when I was first getting started, that was a thing. You could find a niche that had, lots of rich people in it that were willing to buy things, and there was very little competition. And that's just not the case today, and those days went away probably 5-10 years ago. And today, any niche is viable. Any niche can be made to make money. And it all just comes down to you sticking with it and putting in the effort and energy long enough to see it through to success. That's really the only goal. And so what I've done is just for a brainstorming to kind of give you some just a little bit. I find that myself, when I have examples to look at, it helps like spark ideas in my mind, right? Even though I might see an example of a niche or a course idea, and then, it sparks a completely different idea once I see examples and get that, something that I can see others picking. So I created this big list. It is 200 and something different niche markets, and it's 414 course ideas. And I'm going to share it with you. We're putting it into a downloadable format or a written format you can get in your members area. I will have that for you at the time of this broadcast. It may take a few days before it's actually live in your members area, but I'm going to give it to all of you, and you can use this. And I don't say to use it to just go in there and just pick one and go do it. Use this as inspiration, right? You read through the list of niches, read through the list of course ideas, and use it for inspiration about what could help you. And if you want to pick something similar or even the same, that's okay. But just don't, blindly go in and copy stuff. It's better that you use this to help inspire your thinking and your creativity. And so let's show you that. And one other thing, we have your niche selection coach AI that we've been working on that was put on the back burner, and we are now going to be launching that. And in fact, I might have that ready for you it's still not done, so I hate to give an exact date, but by the time this lesson is edited and posted with the written niche ideas, I may have a niche coach powered by AI that can help you make your niche marketing ideas. And it can even give you a little mini business plan on how to launch each niche once you have selected it. All right, so let's share. I'll just show you the raw materials that I have that are going to be being given to you. And hopefully, I don't know if this is big enough coming through, but hopefully you can see this. Let me see if I zoom in a little. There, I'll expand it a little longer, and I'll zoom in. So as you have the broad niche here, we have the niche market, a little description, and then one of the things that you'll be provided with is also a list of keywords related to this niche market. And as we scroll through, you can see there are lots and lots of baby toys, childproofing products, lots and lots of different niche ideas, book reviews, fantasy novels, sustainable fashion, lots and lots and lots of them. So you can come through here, read through the list, see the examples. Each one of these is a viable niche market. And they're viable for a lot of different reasons, from any kind of business, from a service business to e-commerce to all kinds of different niches. And all of these have the potential to have courses in them. But let me show you the bigger list of course ideas. And let me zoom in on this too. Try to make it bigger so you can really clearly read these. There we go. So anything from organic gardening for beginners, healthy dieting, decluttering your home, DIY home repair, makeup, interior design, homemade gifts, step-by-step astrology, and the list just goes on and on. Power of meditation, career planning, car maintenance, local adventure travel. This is kind of cool. This idea of like planning local adventures around your home, to visit and find out new things. That's kind of cool. How to create an app, how to learn calligraphy, how to barbecue with fire, home decor, meal prepping, backyard beekeeping. That's kind of interesting. But this list is just loaded with amazing course ideas. And there's 414 of them. So I'll share this with you. DIY homebrew, like that. Organic woodworking, interesting. Creating art with digital media, urban farming. Actually, my son is interested in that topic. Forex trading, baking basics, how to create delicious treats, DIY home audio, how to start a YouTube channel, home automation. Yeah, so you can see this list is quite large. Who wants this list, by the way? I don't know. I thought this was pretty dang cool myself. Let me know in the chat with the live audience here, who wants this list? And so now we're getting into kind of a lot of more business-oriented ones, how to use Twitter ads, how to create a photography portfolio, a head start on building a mobile app, creating a personal brand, enhancing Google Ads performance, developing a winning PR strategy. And by the way, Push Button AI can build a course on any of these topics, any of them. So this list just goes, there you go, 414 of them. So we're going to put this in a format that is going to be easy for you to use, and I'll be providing it to all of our Push Button AI early bird customers. What do you think? Is this going to be helpful? Hopefully you can use this. So again, you'll get this. You'll also get our list of niches. So you'll have the broad niche, the small niche, the description, and then also the relevant keywords that of things related to the niche that will be given as well. And here, let me check the chat and see what you all think of that. Okay. All right, good. Oh, Karsten wants the awesome niche list. Okay. Very helpful. Spreadsheet form is perfect, actually. Oh, okay. So yeah, if you like the format of a spreadsheet, I guess I could provide it in that. I was going to try to make it look pretty for everyone, but if you just want the raw data, I can just give it to you. Cool. Yeah, and Pauline's asking, yeah, so when I have this ready, you will receive an email that the lesson is posted and the materials are ready. So you will get an email. Cool. Good. And I'm struggling here to keep up with the chat because again, I'm flying solo today, but good. It looks like people are very excited about that. And several of you have voted for spreadsheet format. And so the beauty of Push Button AI is that you really can't make a mistake because it's so cheap to build one of these, and it is so fast that you could literally have an idea today, whether it's inspired by the spreadsheet or the niche ideas or just something as you're going about your day. And as you're going about your day and you see in life, oh, wow, those are, hey, there's a problem that really needs solving. Hey, there's a goal or there's a hobby or there's a type of a business or whatever it is, it sparks an idea in your mind. You come home, you fire up Push Button AI, build yourself a site, and by tomorrow, the next day, you could launch it. And let's say you invest a little bit of money in ads or some time in getting some traffic, and it doesn't quite work out. Well, there's not much to lose except, what is it, $13.99 to register the domain name. That's it. And maybe a bit of your time. And of course, if you do spend money on ads, but ultimately you could test that idea fast. That is the beauty of Push Button AI. You could have a dozen different ideas and test all 12 of them. And it's not like the old days. Like when I had an idea and I wanted to test it, just I call it the old days, but this is literally months ago, 6 months ago to a year ago. If I wanted to test a market, that meant I was going to have to hire a team of experts, get pages made, get the site built, spend money on writing, spend money on video production. And it's not an exaggeration that I could be out $5 to $10 grand to test one single site. And that doesn't even cover anything I do with ads or traffic or anything like that. It might take me 3 months to get it built, launched, ready, and about, let's call it $8 grand in expense to test an idea. Whereas now I can go, just like you can, go create one of these, get it to market in one day, instead of 3 to 6 months, one day. And then I can test it, see if there's interest, see how it works, learn a little more about the niche in the process, and then scale it up if it works. And if it doesn't work and I just shut it down, next, just move on to the next idea. So it becomes like an idea factory, basically. You can go from idea to something in the real world really fast. And so I want to shift the idea away from the fact that you've got to pick the quote unquote perfect niche market, whether there's some magic formula to follow to figure out, the perfect niche market. It's just more important to take action than it is to get that exactly perfectly right. It's more important to pick a niche that you're going to stick with it for the long haul. Because let's face it, building businesses is hard, right? Now we've made it as easy as possible. It's probably with Push Button AI, it's the easiest it's ever been in the entire history of humanity. Like it's the easiest ever. But building a business, if you really want to get down to it, by the time you launch the business, start getting sales, and deal with all the various little problems and hiccups and things that come about as you grow and build your business. It's not easy. If it were, everyone would be doing this. So we're in this funny time now where you have the technology to do this easily before the rest of the world is caught on. So use it, I guess is the point. All right. So that's all we're going to talk about with niche selection. I will do questions. We're going to go to open questions here in just a moment. You can ask me questions about niche selection if you want to, or anything else. We'll throw it to open questions. And this is for advice, coaching, problem solving, stuff like that. No tech support or customer service. I can't help you with those specific things while I'm on camera, but I'll help you with all of the rest of the coaching and inspiration and motivation and strategy and all that stuff. So we'll get to that. But before I do, I have a favor to ask. So we're working really hard behind the scenes as part of this early bird program. We have a lot of stuff. There's so many new features that we're releasing, so many improvements and changes coming down the pipeline. You get to be part of this whole experience. Gosh, there's so much stuff. I just can't wait to show you that's coming. You're going to get it all for free. But remember, as part of our agreement, from you joining the early bird program, was that you would also share your testimonials with me. And everybody's been great so far, giving me, I've gotten a lot. It's like I have so much I need to go through this giant pile of testimonials to start picking some out that we're going to be sharing with the public. But I need more. And so I want more testimonials. And that is my personal request from you, personal favor I'm asking from you this week, is that if any time during your journey with us, you've had a positive experience, it could be a little tiny positive experience, maybe like it found a great domain name that you think is cool, right? The AI found you a domain name you wouldn't have found otherwise. Awesome. I want to hear about it. I love those stories because I'm blown away by some of the domains that the AI finds some really, really good ones. So if you've ever found a great domain name that was picked for you by the AI, fire up an email, send it to help@pushbutton.ai. And I'll put it on the screen once again. No, not that one. Where'd it go? There it is. Send it to help@pushbutton.ai and let me know, did we find you an awesome domain name? You don't have to share the domain in your success story. You can just say, I was looking for the perfect domain in the dog training niche, and I was blown away. The AI found me a great 3-word domain name, and I love it, right? There's an example. Awesome testimonial. Very helpful to me. I can use it. I can add it to our bank of testimonials. And that would be awesome. So if you've ever had a success by finding a domain that you liked, I want to hear about it. Send us a testimonial. And remember, that was part of our deal as being part of this whole early bird experience. And also the site building process. If the site building process was fast, efficient, if you were surprised at what it generated and how that came out, maybe you liked your logo, if you did an add-on pack, maybe you liked your videos, if you got a video pack, or the email sequence, any part of your experience, I would really like to focus in on the product this week. Anything that the product did to impress you, then I want to hear about it. And just again, email help@pushbutton.ai. In the subject line, just say success. And then just give us you don't have to make it a big, gigantic success. Every little success, every little positive experience, share it with me with that email address. And so even if you've sent me a testimonial before, if you have a new experience or a new thing you like, I would love to hear about it and just send it on in, help@pushbutton.ai. I've gotten a lot of good feedback about the team, which I love. It's really important to me that my team is helpful. And, as part of our company culture, to be invested in you from the top down. I want you to succeed. And it is really, really, it personally is important to me that you succeed in your entrepreneurial journey and that you actually can get some results with the tools that you're using with us. And I try to create a company culture where everyone has that same idea, that same attitude. And I'm pretty sure that one for one, every person working on my team has that same feeling that they want you to succeed. And I've heard about Curtis or about Bill Finley or about Samantha or many members of our team, people saying amazing things about them and how helpful they are. And, And I realize sometimes when you're having a problem, it can be frustrating in the midst of the problem, right? Trying to solve something. But you'll find that my team is willing to keep working with you until we get your problem solved, even if that takes 2 or 3 times before we get it right, or before we zero in and find out what exactly the problem is and how to help you. But they're always invested in your success. And I have had a lot of testimonials about the team, so thank you for those as well. And on that note, we'll just jump to questions. Let me go pull this up here. How are we doing on time? Okay, good. Got a few minutes for questions. Awesome. Here's someone who has an idea. This is Tahamtu. Has an idea a minute, so maybe doesn't want to quite do a course for everyone. I hear you there. I'm kind of the same way. Cool. Let's see. Can we use different pitches to test which aspect of the course matter attracts the most buyers? If so, how? Okay. Okay. This is a question from Karsten. And so you're asking about, I better get rid of the stinger here. Let me hide that out of the way. So you're asking about how to test different sales strategies. And you'll notice you have a sales page that is created for you. So this is using a particular sales strategy that is pretty effective, and it should work really well. But you can test others, and you can basically take your sales page and copy it. And then you can be making changes to it and test sending traffic. If you're doing paid ads, it's quite simple. You just send traffic to the new sales page and measure it against how the old sales page did. That's a very simple and crude way of doing it. Often the best, because you can do it simply and do it quickly. And then what I can do, this is give me an idea, your question, Karsten. So I think on our next live training, I'm going to knock out 2 lessons. Lesson 1 will be using ChatGPT to write ads. Particularly, we'll zero in on Google ads, but I'll talk about all kinds of ads. So that'll be a copywriting lesson on using ChatGPT for ads. And then this gives me an idea of, I'm going to give you a lesson on how to try new sales letters. So whether it's editing the sales letter that we already provided for you, or whether it's making an entirely new one with a different strategy, we'll do a lesson. It'll be our very next live training lesson. I will do that, and we'll knock out both of those topics. So there was a lot of interest in ads, and I'll bet there's a lot of interest in how to write sales materials for your push button sites using ChatGPT. So I'll show you how to rewrite or modify or create a brand new sales letter for your push button AI sites. And we'll put both of those lessons together, and I'll do that on the very next training. What do you think? Is that cool? Well, let me know in the chat if that's interesting to you. I'd like to do that. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, so here's a good question. And also here's someone. I love Curtis. He has been my email contact, and he's been great. Gets my questions answered quickly and with easy to follow instructions. Awesome. Well, hey, you know what? Email that in. That's a testimonial. Email it in so we have a record of that success. And then here is, this is Edward. Yes, tech support team is excellent. Awesome. Oh, here's a question about Beaver Builder training. That's a good question. Okay, so I don't remember where the Beaver Builder training is. I'll bet that there is a lesson on it in our how-tos in Profit Platform. So if you log into profitplatform.com and go look under how-tos, I am almost positive there's a lesson in there about Beaver Builder. If there's not, please open a support ticket and ask for that. And then someone will help get you pointed to the training on Beaver Builder. So that's that question. Here's a great question. This is from Anthony, wanting to know how to be an affiliate for Push Button AI. So we don't have because we're not publicly launched, like it's not a publicly for sale product yet. We don't have an affiliate program, but we're getting closer. So we're going to soon, there are some major tech changes, some tech updates that the team is working hard on that are probably going to be finished next week. Maybe if I'm being a little too optimistic, I don't know, but soon. Once those are done, we're going to start to open it up to the public and allowing the public to come in. Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. And once it's publicly available, then I'll make sure that you have a chance to promote as an affiliate. And all of the Push Button AI customers, you guys will be invited amongst the first ones to promote it. Right now, a bunch of my friends, and industry contacts and stuff are have been promoting it recently in private. We do these private closed door promotions. But as soon as I open it up, you will be the first to be invited. Okay. And so anybody who is a Push Button AI customer can be amongst our first public affiliates. Okay. When's the next class? So Pauline is asking. So normally, our whole live training schedule is changing, Pauline. So what I can tell you is next week, there may not be a show, but then you're going to be getting announcements on that. And our training, and we always announce the training by email. So just make sure that you've whitelisted and have the emails coming in your inbox. And we always email notifications about the training lineup. But the training schedule is changing, and we will announce it as soon as it is all settled and established on what days we're making the changes. But yes, the training schedule will be changing, and all training related announcements are going to be done by email. Okay. Here's someone. Okay. Here is someone with some Google Ads difficulty. Okay. Yeah. So looks like this is to Tihamtu again. Has a Google Ads account that got closed for circumventing systems. And that is a nasty way of getting your account closed with Google. How do I explain this? It doesn't make a lot of sense, but basically an AI got you. So they have AI police that check and look over Google Ads accounts, and they'll ban you for all kinds of, just, in my opinion, silly, stupid reasons. It sounds like you got caught up in that. So the first thing to do is make sure that you have exhausted appealing to Google. There are different ways for you to get in touch with Google. They even have phone support as opposed to some of the other ad platforms out there. And I would make sure you have completely exhausted the ability to appeal before you move on. After that, you have to create a brand new account, and there's all these, it's a bunch of loops you have to jump through in order to make it work. So I won't cover that today because it's kind of extensive, but just make sure that you've really exhausted all possibility of appealing that ban. Sometimes they will reverse it, and sometimes it takes you being persistent and asking multiple times. But at the end of the day, if you've tried multiple times, you've tried calling, you've tried all the support channels, you can't get your account reversed, then put in a support request, and maybe I can do a training, because this is something that'll take a few minutes to cover, but I don't have time for today. Okay. Awesome. Here's a question from Colleen. Are there only training videos at this point? And what about actual written modules? So Colleen, right now we're actually in the middle of a project to edit down the training into bite-sized pieces and put written materials alongside them. So you'll have written and video together alongside one another in your training area. It's a project that's being done right now. So that you will have the combination of both very soon. As of the time of this broadcast right now live, that is video. Like, we take these live sessions and we record them and make them available in the members area. But the edits are in progress, and I'll have some news on that for you very soon. Okay. Okay, here is a great question. This is from Charles. So Charles is saying, it's very interested in traffic. Yeah, traffic is king, right? You can't build a business without traffic. But a great question here is, can you take your courses and put them on other sites as a way of getting like free exposure? And I think, Charles, you're probably talking about like things like Udemy and other course sites. Is that what you're thinking about? Because yeah, that there are a bunch of sites. Udemy is probably the biggest. Coursera is another one, but there's, I don't know, about a dozen different platforms that have reasonable traffic where they sell courses, and you can sign up as a course creator and list courses. So that is a viable thing. You can do that to get traffic, but make sure you understand their rules about AI. Different platforms have different rules, and those rules are evolving and changing because AI is evolving and changing literally by the day. So just make sure you follow their rules. But yes, you could list the course that Push Button AI created for you. As long as it's in the terms and conditions where you're not going to break any rules, you can take those courses and put them on Udemy and Coursera and other places. Now, I haven't done an exhaustive check. I don't know the policies of those sites at this point. And as I said, they're changing constantly. So just make sure you do your own checking that it's in the policies of those sites. Okay. Okay. TIHA for short. Okay, good. Yeah. So the question is about this circumvention of systems reason for getting banned on Google. You say, I don't know what I circumvented, but I'll keep appealing. And that's the tricky part of this is, and Google's not the only one who does this. Facebook does it. Twitter does it. All the major ad platforms do this, where they have AI systems that try to find spammy, scammy, fraudulent accounts and terminate them. But they make they falsely ban people every day. Like if you go look, for example, if you go look in the Facebook ads help forum, there's like hundreds of thousands of people that have been banned on Facebook trying to get help in the Facebook forums, and no one will help them, right? You just automatically get banned. Google has not as bad of a problem, but a similar problem where they ban people, and it's the circumventing of systems ban is the one that's the worst because you don't know what you did. Sometimes it's as simple as, the address you logged into your account is different than the address on your credit card, but they don't tell you that. They just ban the account, right? And there are dozens of different ways that these systems can get you and artificially ban you. It's frustrating, but it just means you have to be persistent. And if ultimately they won't give you your account back, there is always a way back in. And I'll tell you I can do that in a future training and tell you how to get in with a brand new account. Okay. Cool. All right. I think I'm up to date on questions. Maybe we're on to something. So, okay. You say you have moved several times. That could do it. So if the Google system see you logging in and out from different locations in a short period of time, that might freak them out and think that this account has been hijacked or stolen or that it's fraudulent. So that can definitely give you a flag that can get you banned, which is silly because people move all the time, right? You could be on vacation. Like I've personally had an issue where I was on vacation and I logged into my Facebook account and bam, they shut down everything. I got it back. Like I appealed and explained that, hey, I'm on vacation. I'm not, they were worried that somebody broke into my account and was fraudulently running ads. But it's just silly, but that's just one of the things that they do. Okay. Oh, here was a question. This is Blake's question. I missed it before. Do I have a specific process for validating a niche? Any benchmarks, techniques, etc.? And here's the thing. I could create a fancy looking procedure and say, hey, look at this magic formula that I created to validate a niche. Honest answer is I don't do that. Honest answer is I look at the niche. I don't have a precise calculation or a precise system, but what I will often do is I'll have an idea. I'll start with an idea or a concept or something like that. And then I start researching and I'll look and see, how competitive is it? If I go search Google, how many ads are there for it? If I go search Facebook, how many Facebook pages? And, and I might look at Twitter. And I might start to think about different ways that I might feel comfortable marketing a particular niche business. And then I often, it's hard to explain this, but I'll often just do that initial evaluation. And if I don't feel it's a lost cause, like if I feel like, oh, this is a maybe, potentially I could do this, I'll usually go for it. Sometimes during that process, I might hit a point where it's like, oh, I see, look at that. There's like 20 people advertising on Google for the exact same thing. There's, like pages with millions of fans selling the exact same product. And I can't really think of a way to get traffic. And, if I feel like it's a lost cause, and I don't have some math or a formula that I follow, it's more about just researching it, understanding it, and then, making a decision for myself. I wish I could break it down into a formula. I could make a formula, but I'll just be making it to make it, to simplify things, but it isn't the one that I use, if that makes any sense. Cool. Where do we go to edit our sales page? I haven't found it yet. So you just log into the dashboard of your site and you go and edit the page, and you use Beaver Builder. I covered this. I know it's covered in an earlier training, but also if you look in the Profit Platform how-to section, you'll see how to edit your pages. And if you're still not sure, you can't find those things, please email support and they'll get you sorted out and pointed in the right direction. Cool. And that was from Alan. Let's see, is that Alan? Yeah, Alan. Okay. Cool. All right. So if I missed anybody's questions, we're coming up to the top of the hour. So we are going to be wrapping up here in just a moment. But if I have missed anyone's questions, please get them crammed in now and let me know. And then while I'm waiting for this is the final call for questions. So this will be the final round. Pop those in now. Otherwise, we're going to be wrapping up. And then keep an eye on your inbox. So next week, we are likely to skip training. I will send an email announcement about it, but I will be posting the freebies for you. So you'll get the spreadsheet of course ideas and niches. I'll give you both of those things along with the recording of today's training. I'll post that in your members area and you'll get that next week. And we might have a 1 week break before we hit our new training schedule for live coaching and live training. But if I'm not here with you live next week and you have a question and you need help, definitely use our support. We will be closed on Monday as a official holiday here in the US. But after that, the team will be here and will be ready, willing, and able to help you out. And then I'll be giving an announcement next week about a change to our training lineup. Let's see here. And a reminder, success stories and testimonials. Don't forget to send those in just by email. Email them over. Every single little one helps. Great domain name, good customer service experience, impressed with the site, with any aspect of your site, any little thing you could think of that's a positive experience that you're happy about, excited about, please share it. Just put success in the subject line and send it right there. They're going to forward those over to me. We're making a big old catalog, a giant big catalog full of these testimonials, and it's part of my public launch strategy. So once we do launch this to the public in the coming weeks, I think we're probably maybe a month, 6 weeks away. But once we do launch to the public, I'll be sharing these and making them visible for the public to see as well. So it'll help me a lot. And it'll help me get the public launch done and help us moving faster through this whole beta process of getting new stuff released to you. So please send those in. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, back to questions. We'll do the final round of questions. Okay, here's one from Charles asking about budgets on advertising. If I had a small budget, would you use Facebook ads or Instagram? So I wouldn't really focus on budget if I was choosing between Facebook and Instagram. Those both go through Meta ads, so it's all really the same company, both Facebook and Instagram. But I might pick one or the other depending on the niche market. If it is a trendy sort of very consumer-friendly thing, especially if you can do visual ads, I would pick Instagram. If it's kind of more informational or maybe a little bit less like broad consumer public type of a niche, I might go Facebook, right? So also, be aware of Facebook's advertising policy. I don't know what your course topic is on, but you might want to check that too, just making sure that you're compliant with Facebook and Instagram advertising policies. And a quick Google search for Facebook ad policies will get you right to the page. Cool. Let's see. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, giving some love for the today's training and today's session. So I'm glad you're enjoying that. Uh, okay, someone wants to do a pop-up disclaimer. I don't really have a way to do what you're asking for, Edward. I'm sure it's possible using Beaver Builder to do a custom thing that you're looking for. It's just right out of the box. The sites aren't made to have a pop-up disclaimer, but ask that question and we'll get it over to the tech team and see if they have something they can point you to. I'm sure you can do it using our drag and drop editor. Yeah, I don't know that I have it's not something a lot of people have asked for. So we haven't done like specific training or have a template for that. Okay. Jay has given me a reminder that if you're looking for your sales page, you'll see it if you go log into your website admin, and you'll see it under the Buy Membership page is the name of the page. It says Buy Membership, and that is your sales page. And that's inside WordPress. Okay. Okay. This is, okay. So soccer training is the niche for Facebook ads, or, you could use either one really. I would try, if you can, but I don't know what your budget is, but you might try both and just test it to see which works better. One of the things that you can do with meta ads with, Facebook, what they used to always call Facebook ads, now meta ads, is you can make an ad and let them determine where they're going to put it. And I think now that I'm thinking this through, probably for you, if you're on a kind of a tighter budget with that niche market, I would probably do that. I would just let them determine where they're going to put it. And they'll then spread it around and try to find the best placements for you. That's probably the best bet to go on a limited budget. And you'll end up with some on Instagram, some on Facebook. Some of them will be in the feed. Some of them will be in the video watch page. So you'll see a variety of placements that they'll do for you automatically. And then there is a way to break that down and see which ones are working best for future ads. Cool. Okay, then a second request for a template to be able to do the pop-up disclaimer. So, and there might be an easy way. I'll bet you, in fact, that there's a super easy way to do this with Beaver Builder. I just don't know it off the top of my head. So there we go. And with that, I think I've got to the last question. So I hope you enjoyed today's training, and I hope you got a little something out of the session today. And I certainly appreciate the fact that you are a Push Button AI early bird customer. So I want to thank you for that. And I've got so many cool announcements and new features and new stuff to release for you. In fact, I'm fingers crossed, I've got one for you next week. And with that, we're going to wrap it up. So I'll remind you, I didn't answer your question today, or you need tech support or customer service, you can always email us right there, help@pushbutton.ai. Send us an email. We'll help you out, and send me those testimonials. And on that note, we'll see you next time. Bye. I'll put it over here. Bye for now. See ya.